It's Sprint Series night in America.
Hello, everybody. This is AG here, and welcome to the World Center of Racing here during Daytona Speed half of a week. That's basically what it is now in real life, but we're here for Sprint Series night in America at the World Center of Racing at Daytona. And this is probably the biggest race for these guys in the Wawa Sprint Series, because of course the top four finishers move on to the Wawa Cup Series race, and the Wawa Cup Series race this weekend, this Sunday at February 19th at noon Eastern Time, is the Daytona 500, the crown jewel event of the season in the Wawa Cup Series. So a huge opportunity for all of these drivers in this race, all 20 of them, to have a shot at getting one of the biggest wins, one of the crown jewel wins on the channel. Daytona 500, Indy 250, Thanksgiving 500. Only one driver has won all three of them. That's Nicholas Amadeo. He's going to be my teammate over in Stewart season, with this guy owning the team, Nathan Stapleton, alongside me for the call of tonight's race. 13 laps, but for the first time ever, we are running restrictor plates here at Daytona. The racing itself isn't going to change too much, but these guys are going to be going a little bit slower than they have in the past. How do you think that's going to affect tonight's race and maybe even Sunday's race with the Daytona 500?
Well, it's going to be really interesting of what happens. Like you said, it's not going to affect it too much, but it's going to slow these guys down, and that might affect some of the ones that these guys might get. The ones might not be as big as what it has been in the past, and we're going to have to look on getting the pass done possibly a little bit longer than in the past with the slower speeds, but we have to wait and see on how much it really affects things. At the end of the day, it is Daytona. Anything can happen, and I don't think that will stop just with having restricted plates on these cars.
Absolutely not. It's still going to be a great race, and of course Sunday's going to be a great race as well. Of course, here in the Wawa Sprint Series, there are no pit stops, so it's a 13-lap race, strict from the start to the finish. Of course, if we do end up with a caution, it'll be a 2-lap caution period, unless we are at 3 laps to go, and then the race will end there. We have 20 cars in the field, 20 drivers in the field here for the Wawa Sprint Series from Daytona. 11 of these guys raced last week, including our race winner, Benny Moore. And Benny Moore comes into this race the points leader in the Wawa Sprint Series with a 4-point lead ahead of Jim Vincent. Sam Oskin is third in points, but he is not racing here tonight, 5 points behind. But Trey Bartow and Avery Alford, who are tied for 4th in the point standings, are both in this race tonight, both 7 points behind. And of course, after 20 races, the top 10 drivers in points will lock their rides and then go for the championship in the last 10 races of the season. We're going to go ahead and get these guys to roll off here and show you guys the full field as we get these guys to roll off. And starting on the pole here tonight in the Wawa Sprint Series from Daytona, it is Skylar Taylor in the number 45, his first ever start on the channel. And of course, the starting lineup determined by the order in which you guys signed up last Wednesday night. By the way, at 7:30 p.m. tonight, we got sign-ups for next week's race from the Auto Club Speedway. But it's Skylar Taylor to the inside of Landon Smith Jr. Row number 1. We've got Avery Alford in the 83 to the inside of Tyreek Hartman in the 02. Frederick Metushala in the 96, his first ever start to the inside of last week's winner, Benny Moore. We got the 78 machine of Jacob Walker to the inside of Nathan Baird, once again in the 56. It's not Trey Bartow in the 4 this week. It is Johnny Bazduko to the inside of Cameron Lassard in the 33. Will Parrish back in the 00 to the inside of the 85 of Connor Breton. We got the 60 of Mason Wood and the 77 of Cole Raymond. And there's Trey Bartow in the number 80 machine to the inside of the 07 of Jim Vincent. Both of these drivers were in the Cup race last weekend. Will they be able to do it for the Daytona 500? We got the number 40 machine of Chad Gronkowski. Probably not related to Rob Gronkowski, but who knows? It's a small world. You got the 05 of Patrick Smith. Great to see this guy back in action, a long-time Cup veteran back behind the wheel. And then the 7 machine is Luis Rodriguez, who had an issue in last week's Sprint Series race, and Joe Rutkowski there in the 74. Nathan, we got some veterans, some rookies. Who's going to victory lane, and who's going to be racing in the Daytona 500 this Sunday?
Well, it's Daytona. It's hard to predict, but I think Experience is going to win out. I think Bartow's going to win, and I think it will be Bartow, Rutkowski, Smith, and Benny Moore. I think they'll all make it into the Daytona 500.
We're just going to have to see how it all goes down. The number 45 of Skylar Taylor in his first ever start. We'll have to see if he can be the Pied Piper here at Daytona and lead these guys to the checker flag. It's 13 laps of action here at Daytona. We're underway, the world's center of racing. Of course, you're going to notice the speed difference here for these guys compared to years past, but it's going to be a lot more realistic in terms of the racing here at Daytona. Avery Alford there, helping his teammate out in Skylar Taylor. Of course, Alford was in the 45 last week, and Alford missed out as Skylar Taylor was quick to getting that 45 in signups last weekend. Or should I say last week? It's not the weekend. It's gonna take me a while to get used to that. Here comes the 75, the Landon Smith Jr. Of course, Landon Smith Jr., a very solid driver. Been around quite a while, and he's gonna move to the inside for the race lead. And they're side by side here on lap number 1 at Daytona. And a bonus point will go towards the championship if you lead a lap. And I don't know who's got it there. It's showing the 83, now the 75's got it. Landon Smith Jr. just edging out the 45 of Skylar Taylor there. Looked a lot like the Season 2 Daytona 500 back in the day with Nicholas Samadeo.
Definitely a lot different type of racing that we are used to seeing here at Daytona, but here comes the winner of the winning car from last week, the number 96. Never mind, as here comes the number 4 trying to take that spot away, and that 78 of Jacob Walker is in the spot that he did not want to be. If he can get some help, that might work out for him, but right now, no one is working with him, and he is in the stucco at Daytona.
And this is definitely a preview of what we're going to see in the Great American Race on Sunday. Of course, the biggest race of the season for the Wawa Cup Series guys, and for 4 of these guys, so definitely going to be interesting to see how it all works out, but you're going to see these 2 lanes, and they're going to be pretty equal throughout the entire race. However, we may see some guys kind of move through the field here. Johnny Bazzucco in the number 4, one of, I'm not sure what the official count is, I think one of 8 guys in this race who have won before on the channel. Won a Hearst Dasheries race last year, and this is kind of the spiritual successor to that, of course, so great to see Bazzucco back behind the wheel. And of course, this ride was driven by Trey Bartow last week, and Bartow ended up moving that thing into the Cup Series race at Homestead. So we'll have to see what Bazzucco can do. He's moving to the inside, taking the lead away from Matushala in the number 86. But Will Parrish is going to move on this inside lane here as well. Here comes Mason Wood and Trey Bartow. The inside lane looks pretty strong as of right now. There's not that much help on that outside lane. And, you know, the one fear that we kind of have, and I don't think we're going to quite see it as much on Sunday because we're going to have a larger field, but that inside lane looking very strong. Will we kind of see a bit of a cycle race go on, kind of like how we do at Talladega? I think it's going to even out as this race goes along. I think some of the faster drivers, some of the faster cars are coming from the back to the front, including Trey Bartow. Will Parrish has taken the race lead away, and Chad Gronkowski in his first ever start right here in the top 4 currently.
Here comes Trey Bartow in the number 8 machine, trying to do what my teammate, or his teammate in the number 96 did last week. Bartow to the lead, and now seeing a little bit more 3-wide action, and that's still going to be a problem all speedway long here tonight and in the 500. 4-wide most likely will not work out if we see it, and might not be a 3x3x3. And here comes the 7 of Rodriguez going for the race lead on both.
You just mentioned 4-wide might not work. We almost got it there back in the field. Nathan Baird, he had a shot to the inside of the 83. It didn't quite work out right there, and we're 3 wide for the majority of the field right now. Now, one thing with the whole rating system, and that is why these races are going to have the restrictor plates now, because Superspeedway races basically did not exist when we ran the old Superspeedway or the Speedway Physics track. And because Superspeedway is a rating for the Wawa Cup Series drivers, decided to run with the restrictor plates here to be equal and fair in the ratings. And because of that, these guys go a little bit slower. We may not see as many wrecks, especially on Sunday, so that could get very interesting. How about Joe Rutkowski here? Started 20th, and here he is, going to the race lead. Trey Bartow, though, I think Bartow is going to have some help working that outside lane to his advantage. I think this 80 machine, hey, you know, your team won last weekend, Nathan, with Benny Moore behind the wheel. Bartow going to try to do it. Here comes Jim Vincent left in the 07 as well for Titan Fury Racing. And this is anybody's race at this point here on lap 6 of 13, and it's starting to get good. That outside lane is starting to work in, and we got 4 wide almost as Vincent Leff and Rutkowski almost got into each other there across the line.
That 77 of Cole Raymond, I said it, 4 wide, still probably would not work out with it being slow speeds. He tried making it 4 wide in the trial and probably the worst spot to do it, and I think he's not done yet trying to make it 4 wide. He might have another one here down the back stretch.
Yeah, and it's really all up to Vincent Leff opening the door up for Cole Raymond on that inside lane. Look at this. It's a gridlock out there with all 20 of these drivers. But this may work in Bartow's favor. He's kind of working that outside lane now, and with these guys going 3 wide, there's a bit of an advantage there for Bartow. But Vincent Leff in the 07 trying to clear these guys. I don't think he's going to quite clear them, though. Rutkowski and Bartow still to his outside. 6 laps to go here at Daytona in the Wawa Sprint Series. And an opportunity to race in the Daytona 500 this Sunday. The other 36 full-time Cup Series drivers. But there's also a championship involved. These guys want to get their points in so they have a shot at the Sprint Series championship. And those top 3 right there, as a matter of fact, the top 4, were all in last week's race trying to get as many points as they can, and 2 of them were top 4 as well with Vincent Leff and Bartow. They're still 3 wide, and it's a gridlock throughout the field. Nobody with the advantage at the moment here at Daytona.
Halfway here for the Sprint Series. 3x3x3 throughout the entire field. Vincent Leff trying to make this inside lane to work, but Bartow keeps on getting a massive shove from the number 00 of Parrish on the outside, and just no one can really get one, and no one can get clear. If Bartow can get clear, then he could maybe dominate and make this field go single file, double file. But same can be said for the 07, but no one's able to do that right now. But this is good old Daytona.
This is a lot like real-life racing as well, which is very fascinating. You know, each line is pretty much equal at this point. Now, I think Vincent Leff has a bit of an advantage through the corners. He's got that shorter way around the racetrack. Bartow and Rutkowski have to go a little bit further on that outside lane, but they are much faster down the straightaways and the front stretch. But if Vincent Leff can clear these guys, which he was close there, but just not enough, may have a shot at pulling away. But do you want to go single file here? You know, all 3 of these guys may be in the positions they want to be in at this point. I don't think they want anyone to get away because all 3 of them have a good shot at winning. Just seems like Vincent Leff may have that advantage there on that inside lane in the 07.
Let's see, I know Bartow and Rutkowski very well. They know each other very well. I don't know if they would want to maybe try something where they can work together here. I don't really know, but like I said, if they stay where they are at, they will probably make it into the 500. Unless the 7% of Raymond decides to make it 4 wide like he's already teased a couple of times, or the 01 behind him. But coming 3 laps to go, this is anyone's shot for this race.
We could have ourselves an insanely close finish here in this Sprint Series race at Daytona. This is fascinating stuff. You know, we started out almost thinking, oh boy, this could be a suckle race, but then now, when Bartow and Rutkowski get out ahead, it was no budging up front. But Vincent Leff still with that advantage, still with that help from Cole Raymond. Now, Cole Raymond's going to be doing all he can because he's in that 4th position, looking to race his way into the Daytona 500 here. This is kind of like our own little duel, in a way. It's just the one race, though. Bartow there on that outside lane, getting a lot of help there from Parrish, and Parrish might try to get the advantage on the 77 here. I don't know if anybody else is going to have any opportunity here at getting inside that top 4, but Vincent Leff doing all he can. He's done everything right so far, but will he get the win? 2 laps to go in the Sprint Series at Daytona. It's the point of no return. If we get a caution, the race will end.
Down into turn number 1. I think these 3 that are leading the lanes, the A, 74, and 07, as long as nothing crazy happens, looking at U77, I think they will be in. But Raymond, I don't know, he is in that 4th spot, and he's in a tricky situation because he is in his own life with the 7 and 00.
No hole is opening up for him on that inside lane, and here we go. White flag at Daytona for Jim Vincent Leff, who got a really good run right there. Now, if he clears, that could open the door for Raymond, but it's not going to happen quite yet. We've been 3 wide for about 7 laps in this race. And Vincent Leff has had the advantage every single time, but will Barto or Rakowski be able to get the run on the outside lane and have an opportunity here? We're just going to have to see Rakowski trying to work that middle lane to his advantage. I'd watch out for that 74. If he can clear Barto here down the backstretch, he's got help there from the 7 machine of Luis Rodriguez. And there's still in a dead heat up front. Here we go, coming to the checkered flag at Daytona. Trey Barto, Joe Rutkowski, and Jim Vincent Leff. Vincent Leff on that inside lane, trying to get the advantage, but Rutkowski is going to have a shot on this outside. Will he be able to close in enough on the 07 coming across the line? He will not. Jim Vincent Leff wins the Wawa Sprint Series at Daytona, but Joe Rutkowski, Trey Barto, and Cole Raymond will join him in the Great American Race on Sunday. How about that? Very strategic racing right there. And the thing about Sunday's race, there will be a pit stop. So that will really shake things up for that one in the Cup Series. But here tonight, Jim Vincent Leff had it made. And I think he's going to be your new points leader here in the Wawa Sprint Series. Very interesting. You know, it was nice to see a clean race. But it was obvious that Vincent Leff had that inside lane, and that's why he never went ahead and cleared. Because if he cleared, those guys behind him could have gotten a run on him at some point in that race, and he may have lost it. But a very good strategy out of Vincent Leff. Joe Rutkowski, Trey Barto, and Cole Raymond in the Daytona 500. How about that? A very solid field there for the Sprint Series drivers. And for Vincent Leff and Barto, that's their second straight Cup race. So both of those guys looking very strong here in the Sprint Series. So you take a look at the rest of the results right there. Nathan, how do you think this race is going to translate into Sunday? Because we're going to have twice as many cars on the racetrack and a cycle of pit stops. Don't think it's going to be quite as calm, do you?
No, I do not. Having doubled the cars will obviously make things a little bit more chaotic, even with the slower speeds. And even tonight, Cole Raymond thought about making it full wide multiple times, and all it takes is one driver to say, you know, I'm not going to just beat to the inside. I'm going to make this full wide and go and make it full wide and not just ease off. So that could happen. You could see some carnage. It's going to be a lot longer of a race than what this was as well. A lot more time for things to go south. And that pit stop, I feel like that's going to be the biggest unknown. It's not the restricted place. It's not the slower speeds. It's not really even the lanes going into this race. I feel like the pit stop on the Superspeedway is going to be the biggest wild card of the Daytona 500 this season.
It absolutely will. I think it's the first time we've done that, and that could really get interesting. It get a little dangerous, too. That may be where we see our caution on Sunday. So it's going to be a fun race on Sunday, and I know some of you may be disappointed in the restrictor plates. I know, but I think it's going to be a lot more of a strategic race. Of course, the problem, another reason why I wanted to do this is because so many super speedway races we've done, especially at Daytona, we'll get a wreck 5-7 laps in. That's all right, but we'll have so many cars who are off the pace because of the accident, and then it's just a chess match the whole way through. I want to actually see these guys race it out. I want it to be a little bit more pure. And that's what we're going to hopefully get on Sunday with the Wawa Cup Series. Jim Vincent Leff, Joe Rutkowski, Trey Barto, and Cole Raymond in the Cup race. You see the starting lineup for the Daytona 500 there on the right-hand side of your screen. Hopefully you can see it. And if you want to join the Wawa Sprint Series, of course, we reset the field every single week, 7:30 Eastern Time tonight. We got sign-ups for Auto Club next weekend, and that'll be a fun race there on the 2-mile flat oval. Maybe not flat oval, but it's a lot of fun there at the Auto Club Speedway. We're going to have a lot of fun next week there at Auto Club because the Haas IndyCar Series is coming on Tuesday night, the California 100. So that'll be a lot of fun. A lot of great stuff coming up here on AG the channel and NR in general. All these NR leagues are popping back up again. Stewart's doing his series again. Matt Tuck's doing his series again. Nathan, get your computer right, and you'll be doing your series again. Great place to be in the NR community right now. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations to Jim Vincent Leff on his first career win on the channel, by the way. And we'll see him, Rutkowski, Barto, and Raymond in the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Here are the points for the Wawa Sprint Series after 2 races. Oh boy. And I will see you guys later.